Jessii Vee. Do you like my sweater? There's mountains on it. Okay, so as you can tell by the title of today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Midnight Circus. This is a terrifying story. It's also a warning, because if you ever see a creepy glowing tent just appear in your neighborhood, don't go towards it. Stay away from it. Before I jump right into it though, I just want to give you another reminder that yes, I do have a new January backdrop behind me. It is Sailor Moon, one of my favorite shows growing up as a kid. And if you would like to win it, all you have to do is be subscribed to this channel, so my Jessii Vee channel, turn on your notification bell, and then head over to another channel that I made. It is called Jessii Vee Shorts, and just subscribe there as well. So as long as you're subscribed to these two channels, I have linked it down below, you will be entered. But I have to change things around a little bit. I was talking to some YouTube reps and I found out that I'm actually unable to join the creator program for the YouTube Shorts thing, just because they're still in a trial phase and it's kind of complicated to explain. So it looks like I'm not going to be able to post shorts on that new channel that I made. So I'm actually going to transform it into a book review channel, because not a lot of people know I'm a huge book nerd. I read about 6 books a month, and I would love to have a whole channel where I just sit down and like rant about the books that I read. So in February, Jessii Vee Shorts will turn into a book review channel. If you're not into that, I totally get it. It's just another outlet for me to express myself. But for now, if you would like to win the backdrop, go subscribe to Jessii Vee Shorts. I have linked it down below, but there will be a transformation coming up. All right, guys, so let's get right into today's video. Have you ever been lying peacefully in your bed when you suddenly heard the eerie, far-off sound of circus music? It starts off quiet, but gets louder and louder as the minutes go by, almost as if it's beckoning you. You stare at your window into the night and see a glowing red and white tent in the distance with a shadowed figure waving at you from its entrance. The question is, do you go, or do you run back to your bed and hide under your covers until morning? So we're gonna talk more about this very creepy midnight circus in just a second. But first, I wanted to get into a little bit of history about why circuses are in tents in the first place. The first ever circus was actually a horse show. So you would literally just go to this place to watch horses do really cool things. But later on, they began combining elements of modern theater, and they performed in a circular arena. It was called the circus because in Latin, circus meant circular. Over the years, they began adding new acts like acrobats and clowns to keep the shows interesting. I just never knew that circuses began being just horses and then transforming into things from my nightmares. As the circus grew in popularity, new circuses opened in countries like France and the United States. And at first, these circuses had homes in permanent buildings, like actual structures that wouldn't move. However, at that time, the United States didn't have many cities that were big enough to support a permanent circus building. And for this reason, people began doing traveling circuses. In 1825, they began to use large canvas tents instead of a permanent building. And as traveling circuses expanded, tent sizes grew to accommodate more rings for different acts. The large tent that housed numerous rings and stages became known as the Big Top. And this name stuck and became interchangeable with circus. So Big Top, circus, the same thing, always in tents. All right, guys, so let's talk more about the Midnight Circus. So to continue on with the question that I asked you at the start, if you began to hear circus music in the middle of the night and saw this glowing tent off in the distance, would you go towards it or would you stay home? Before I continue, comment down below what you would do. Would you go see it or would you stay put? I myself definitely would not. I have seen enough horror movies to see what happens to curious people, but I also probably would wonder for the rest of my life what would have happened if I went there. So it's kind of like a lose-lose situation. Well, regardless of what choice you make, today I'm going to be telling you a story about a girl who decided to be brave and go towards this random circus in her neighborhood. When she saw it appear, the tent was sitting right in the middle of the park, about a 5-minute walk from her house. So she put on her coat, she snuck outside and hoped that her parents wouldn't hear her leave. When she got to the entrance of the tent, the tall, shadowed man that was waving at her before was just standing there looking straight ahead. She said hello to him, but he didn't respond. So she just walked right past him into the circus tent. She saw circus performers juggling, dancing, jumping on trampolines, swinging from ropes, and there were these clowns zooming past her on little bikes.
Would you like to stay and watch the show?
This deep voice came from behind her. So she turned to see the tall shadow man standing at the entrance looking at her. He had this smile that was unnaturally wide and she could barely see his face in the darkness. kindness. And without thinking, she said yes, she would like to stay and see the show. Suddenly, the man shut the curtains of the tent and she was trapped inside. The circus music stopped and all the circus performers stopped what they were doing to stare at her. She then realized that they were all standing in this circle around her, unmoving with giant smiles on their faces. Are you kidding me? She tried to get out, but the entrance was tightly shut and she could have sworn that she could hear the man chuckling on the other side. Suddenly, the tent started spinning and spinning in circles until she was so dizzy that she collapsed on the ground and blacked out. She woke up in her bed the next day. It was daylight and she wasn't quite sure if everything she experienced was a dream or not. But then she felt the back of her head where there was pain shooting all the way down her neck, and she realized that she actually did fall down and black out. She realized that everything that she experienced must have been real. And then she looked beside her to see a note sitting on her nightstand. She opened it to read, "Thank you for coming to the Midnight Circus. See you next year." The legend goes that once you decide to step into the tent and agree to watch the show, every single year you are forced to go back. So yeah, that is the story of the Midnight Circus. It actually really reminds me of that story I told probably like 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, about the midnight candy shop. Don't go anywhere at midnight. Don't follow the lights or the music. It's gonna go bad for you. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like me to tell more creepypastas and creepy legends like this, give this video a thumbs up and let me know. And don't forget to go and check out the Jessii Vee Shorts channel. Tap that subscribe button if you would like to be entered to win this month's backdrop contest. And I'm so excited to start posting there probably in February because I gotta film, I gotta edit, I gotta get things ready and scheduled over there, but I'm so excited. I love having multiple channels to just post like different things on, but obviously this channel will always be my main one, the one that I focus on. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all of your support. I hope you enjoyed today's video and I will see you in my next one. Bye!